Welcome to the first episode of ComicVerse Chronicles. I'm DeAndre, that's Jake, that's Sasha.
Hey guys.
Hello.
So basically, what I want to do is we're going to go through some comic books, and I'm going to explain the story. Today we're doing Batman Year One. I thought it was a good starting point if anyone ever asked me what comic book they should start with, I always say Batman Year One. It's a good place to start for any new comic book reader. Let's start with what do you guys know about Batman? You know, Batman, Bruce Wayne.
I'm a big old Batman nerd. I haven't read this book in a very long time. I'm kind of aware of like the basis on it, but I could not tell you anything that goes on in this story.
Sasha, Batman?
I know pop culture Batman takes and like the bigger things. Obviously Batman Year One is the first year, so like I probably got the gist of it, but not like the specifics.
Yeah, that's a good thing, because basically, all right, so this book was made as basically for people just getting into Batman. Frank Miller, fresh off of like Dark Knight Returns, and this fresh off.
Good book. Such a good book.
It's okay. Fresh off. This is basically a couple years after the Crisis on Infinite Earths, which is basically a reboot of the DC universe. The first reboot for the DC universe. One of the first big. What's it like?
Oh, the first time DC got rebooted.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
pricey.
Yeah.
I love DC, but man, they be rebooting. That's for sure.
that has become a running gag with DC. But the story opens with Jim Gordon coming into town. In the rebooted universe, Jim Gordon is a Chicago cop. He's moving.
Represent. Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah. We're from Chicago.
Hey.
He's a Chicago cop coming into Gotham City. He's been transferred because of something that happened in Chicago. He had to transfer over to Gotham. I can't. It's not really. It's not in this story really that big, but yeah. So he's coming into town at the same time. Bruce Wayne is also coming into town after 12 years away training to become
the Batman.
Yeah.
So this isn't like immediately after Zorro.
No. In fact,
immediately after training.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, we don't really even see the Wayne murder. Like we see a flash of it, like it's just one panel, because it's, by this point, he's Batman. You know who Batman is. You don't need to go through the whole rigmarole of his parents were shot and killed by Joe Chill or whatever. He's it's Batman. So Batman's coming into town, or Bruce Wayne's coming into town by plane, private jet, and the entire thing is mostly told through thought captions. So you have Jim, and it's told. It's basically a two-person narrative. It's from the perspective of Jim Gordon and Bruce Wayne, and you see their thought bubbles. It's Jim Gordon's. His is it's just in printed English, and Bruce Wayne's is in this fine, like cursive, throughout the whole thing to distinguish whose mind we're in.
Interesting.
Jim Gordon's is very very clear and precise.
Methodical.
Yeah, and Batman's is very brooding and Batman-esque. So Batman's coming into town via plane, and he's thinking like, I should have come via train. I should see the people that I'm going to be facing. Like I should be in it when I go back into town. While Jim Gordon, on the other hand, is taking a train into town, and he's thinking, I fucking hate that I'm taking this train into town. I do not want to be surrounded by these people.
So they're kind of taking the same journey at this point, but just like this, they're getting to the same point, but they're just getting there a little differently.
Yeah.
Almost opposite mindsets.
Yeah, basically.
Opposite mindset, same goal.
Yeah, like they're exactly. they're both coming in to do good for the city, but they're completely at completely different places with it. Jim Gordon comes into town. He meets Detective Flass, who is this big burly dude. He's going to be Jim's new partner, and he takes him to meet the commissioner, Commissioner Loeb. And basically, we immediately get that Loeb and Flask are corrupt. Like, super corrupt.
Shocker!
Flask is, he roughs up some people in the streets and gets money from them.
Gets money or takes money?
Takes money from them.
Yeah.
And when Jim, like, hey, what was that? Why did you do that? Flask throws him what looks like a switchblade knife, but in fact, Jim opens it up. It was a comb, Flask. And Flask is like, my mistake. So obviously we're already introducing the fact that Gotham City is kind of a shitty, corrupt place, that, you know, the police are on the take.
It's bad when even the Chicago cops are surprised.
Jim Gordon's already having problems. So, and then we get a montage of, you know, Gordon settling in, corrupt cop stuff. The Flask is like complaining to Loeb about, hey, he's not corrupt. What the fuck? How are we supposed to work with this guy when he's not a corrupt piece of shit? At the same time, we're seeing...
We gotta do our job the right way? What? Crazy.
Yeah. At the same time, we're seeing Bruce Wayne training, still training. He keeps thinking to himself, like, something's missing. Something's not quite... Like, I have all the training, I can kick a tree down with my bare feet, but there's something missing. Like, there's something I need to...
The fashion.
Yeah.
He said, I need a
Everyone needs a good fit.
I just need a sick outfit to be able to do this, you know?
Well, yeah.
God, I look good in spandex.
So, a couple months go by, Bruce Wayne, he's tired of waiting. Like, he wants to start, fighting crime. He wants to start, he's spent 12 years of his life dedicated to figuring this out, to fighting crime. He wants to start. So he decides to, you know what, I'm going to go out into the city. He puts on some makeup, a scar, to hide his identity so people don't know who he is.
Wow.
And dresses, you know, like a homeless person, you know.
Is it the first time he... Yeah, obviously it would be. Doesn't that end up becoming like a reoccurring thing Batman does?
That he takes on disguises and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. One of his famous ones is Matches Malone.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. So Matches Malone is just a criminal that Batman creates. Well, it depends on who's writing it, but he's a criminal that Batman creates to infiltrate underground stuff. You know, if you need someone, talk to Matches Malone. Some stuff like that. At the same time, Bruce is going out. Gordon is about to be confronted by a bunch of masked vigilantes on his way home from work.
Scary!
Who have bats and beat the shit out of him.
Masked bat vigilantes. Uh-oh.
No, they're just masked vigilantes, like
With baseball bats.
Baseball.
With baseball bats. There you go. So anyway, Gordon gets the shit beat out of him, and it's very clear that it's Flass and a bunch of other police who are pissed off that...
So it's his people turning their back on him because he's just too good of a guy.
Yeah, basically. He's too much of a good guy and he needs to be taught a lesson.
Yeah, learn the hard way.
While that's happening, Bruce Wayne is walking down the street of like a low-rent neighborhood. He's prostitutes, pimps and stuff, just getting a feel for it. He doesn't want to do anything. All right, so unfortunately we cut a significant amount.
First episode issues.
Yeah, it is what it is. So basically, I think we cut right around Batman gets beat up by hookers.
But not as Batman, just as like homeless looking guy.
Right. He almost gets killed by a bunch of cops. Gordon confronts Flash later and beats the shit out of him and strips him naked and leaves him in the woods.
Not in the sexy way, in the scary way.
Yeah. Batman considers suicide because he can't figure out what it is he needs to make the criminals afraid of him.
But the bat comes, and he's like, ah, yes, the will to live.
Yes. And he becomes the Batman. He starts fucking up crime around the city. At the same time, Jim Gordon cheats on his wife with his partner, Sarah Essen. And
even though Miss Gordon is pregnant.
Yes, very heavily pregnant. He's also in charge of a task force made to hunt down Batman because Batman interrupted a dinner with all of Gotham's top officials, including the commissioner. The dinner was with the big crime lord of the city, Carmine Falcone, or Falcone, depending on how you pronounce it. And this led to Batman saving a homeless woman who was about to be hit by a truck because the truck driver fell asleep, and Jim Gordon was there trying to help as well, which led to Batman getting stuck inside of an abandoned building that is then bombed by the police that are trying to arrest him.
By a kill force not led by Jim Gordon.
Yep, Jim Gordon is just dumbstruck that Batman. In this entire event, Batman saves an old lady.
Saves a cat.
Gets shot for it. And at the end of it, when he escapes using a gadget that summons a bunch of bats to him,
the most badass kind of technology.
He steals a suit from a store, which he then pays for. So Jim Gordon's feeling a little certain way about the police and a certain way about Batman.
His feelings in double way.
Yeah.
Is he evil? Is he not? We don't know, but what we do know is he officially looks like Batman that we know today. More bat suit.
Selena Kyle is inspired by Batman to become Catwoman. Oh my God, Selena Kyle's Batwoman or Catwoman.
Crazy.
And
Selena and Batman also had an encounter while Batman was not Batman. We skipped over that.
Right. Yeah. She was one of the hookers that he was fighting. Batman tells a drug dealer to give some information to Jim because this information will lead to the commissioner, exposing the commissioner. But when Jim brings this information to the commissioner shows Jim photos of him cheating on his wife.
Blackmail.
So yeah, blackmails him.
Spider-Man looking at Spider-Man.
Right. So he basically tells him, hey, if you try to expose me, I'll expose you to your wife and to the news. The news sees Jim Gordon as a beacon of hope in Gotham City, so catching him cheating on his wife is a pretty bad thing. And that's basically where we left off. Now, Jim Gordon is still investigating who Batman is, and he comes to the conclusion, hey, Bruce Wayne, that guy's rich.
Money.
And he just came back to town. Let's go investigate him. So he does, and, well, basically, Bruce puts on an act like he's just a playboy idiot. He's got this model with him that doesn't speak English, and he went to the Alps to ski to give himself an excuse for why, because during when he was trapped in the abandoned building by the cops, he was shot in the leg and in the arm, so now he has a cast on both of those things to cover them up.
That is such a smart move, too, aside from just being like a billionaire playboy move with bringing a woman who does not speak your language into your house, so when people show up to question you, it's like, oh, sorry, I don't speak that language.
Yeah. So he puts on an act, and Gordon, he doesn't really buy it. He's like, that was all bullshit. Like,
He said, I can see theatrics when people put them on.
yeah.
I know what's up.
And during this investigation, he brings his wife with him because she needed to come with him because she couldn't stay home for whatever reason, and
Interesting.
he wasn't like doing anything dangerous, so he brought her along.
Okay.
But as he leaves Wayne Manor, he tells his wife that he cheated on her, because he knows it's gonna come out, like, because he's going to go after.
He's like, I'm doing this regardless. Might as well hear it from me.
Yeah. Exactly. Next up, the information that Jim was given leads Jim to Flass, who he interrogates. Basically, a couple months go by. You see Barbara Gordon. Yes, Commissioner, I know that my husband's cheated on me. You don't have to keep calling here. And his kid's born, and basically it's just showing progression of time of them trying to get the evidence they need for Commissioner Love to.
They tried
expose
to
him.
kill him? Wait, who is...
Yeah, the informant, they tried to kill him.
Wow, okay.
Because the information's coming out.
The rat got rat poison.
Yeah. Like, the information's coming out. Like,
Wow.
Loeb's gonna be exposed.
Don't do bad things and you won't be exposed, I guess.
Yeah. We see Selena. She's been stealing.
Thefting?
Yeah.
Cat burglar?
Yeah, basically. And she's kind of pissed off because she's like, the news keeps saying like she's like an associate of Batman. She's like a partner of Batman. She's like, I have no association with this person. Stop attributing everything I
can't-
do.
My own woman.
Why can't a woman just be fucking successful by herself?
Yeah.
I'd be pissed too.
I'm my own successful masked vigilante.
God damn it.
Yeah, so she decides like, all right, well, I got to do something to get to stop.
Assert my name as my own.
Yeah. So we see Batman. He's using a hang glider, and he's like spying on Carmine. He's basically recording them. They're talking about their crime stuff and connections to Loeb and stuff. And Batman's recording the whole thing.
Okay.
At the same time, Catwoman breaks into Carmine's mansion and attacks some of his guards. And because he's trying to steal from him too, she's just trying to do something big so that people know that it's fucking Catwoman who's doing this. She gets surrounded, and Batman saves her. And he's like, well, this was stupid. You just ruined everything I was trying to do.
That defeated the whole purpose.
Yeah. But she's like, I have an idea. And we see her claws going straight to Carmine's face, and the implication is that she's going to scratch Carmine's face to get her name out there. Catwoman did this, not Batman. This wasn't a Batman thing, this was Catwoman. And then that leads to Carmine getting these famous scratch mark scar on his face. That's a thing that he will have from now on, which is everyone like has their like little thing that they have on them to distinguish them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he gets. He gets a scar from Catwoman. So anyway, information's coming out. They're still gathering evidence, and basically Batman finds out that they're going to send a hit after Jim Gordon. So he's like, Alfred, I'm leaving. And it's the middle of the day right now, so Alfred, I gotta go. Do you want the bat costume? It's like, it's the middle of the day, Alfred, I can't wear that. So he goes, and Jim gets a call to come into work at a time on, like, I think it's his day off or something. So he's not supposed to be going into work. So he's like, why are you calling me into work? Something. So he leaves, and then he sees a guy on a motorcycle driving into his apartment. I've never seen that fucking motorcycle in my goddamn apartment. Oh fuck, they're going for my wife. So they go in, and yeah, they are. They kidnap Barbara and his son. and you see the guy on the motorcycle. Jim takes out the two of the guys who are trying to kidnap Barbara, but another person is like in the car. He's still got Jim's son, and he drives off. Jim gets clipped in the arm, but Barbara's all right. The baby's being kidnapped. So Jim shoots that dude that was on the motorcycle. That was not a criminal. That was Batman, who was just trying to help. So he gets shot, but
Batman.
I think his coat was armored, so he's all right. He's just winded. So he runs out. He's like, Barbara is like, "Hey, stay down, or I'm gonna fucking shoot you." And Batman, we don't see his face, so it's like implied, like it's in shadow, so Barbara doesn't see his face. She's like, "Miss Gordon, I'm trying to help your son. Let me go." So he goes. He kicks a dude off his bike, like a bicycle, like not a motorcycle, a bicycle, and just starts riding.
12 years of training ain't going to waste.
Yeah, while Jim is in hot pursuit for that car on Batman's motorcycle, he shoots out the tire. It crashes. They're on a bridge.
He shoot out the tire that his kid was in?
Better than the kid getting kidnapped, I guess.
I mean...
But the kid is like, what? Maybe 6 months old?
Yeah, a couple months old.
Oof.
So, like...
Well, don't worry, Sasha, because that's not the most traumatic thing that's going to happen to that kid today.
Okay.
So, Jim, the driver's knocked out or dead. He hears the baby crying. The other guy that's holding a knife to the baby comes out, starts fighting with Jim, and they're on the side of the bridge, and guy accidentally drops the baby.
Accidentally.
I mean, whatever. So, luckily, Batman, fucking, I don't know, who's a fast bike rider guy. Just like
Louis DeFranced that shit.
Yeah, pretty much. Like he's like, I guess they didn't get that far. They went like maybe a block.
I'm pretty sure I just said the wrong Armstrong, but you guys get the point.
Yeah, fucking Armstrong get all the way there.
Yeah.
But
leg strong.
While Jim's fighting that dude, Batman jumps off the side of the. I'm sorry. Am I interrupting you?
I made a bad joke and I can't even get a little.
I didn't hear it.
I said Armstrong. What about leg strong?
So Batman jumps off the side of the bridge to save the baby.
Yep.
Jim and the other guy go down with him, but Batman catches him and saves the baby. Baby's
Nice.
alright.
Maybe a little whiplash. But he's alive.
So this is Jim Gordon looking directly at Batman without a mask. But Jim says, you know, you're lucky that I'm basically blind without my glasses, because Jim wears glasses.
Oh,
He doesn't see.
man.
He says he doesn't see Batman's face,
Allegedly.
but he definitely... First of all, he was already suspicious of Bruce Wayne. Jim Gordon knows who fucking Batman is.
Yeah.
Eventually leads to Flass. He's an idiot, but he kept notes of every conversation he had with Loeb, with criminals, with Karma, with Falcone, with whatever. He kept notes, everything, and he turns that in for presumably a lighter sentence for himself. And he exposes Loeb. Loeb gets let go, and Jim, not commissioner. He doesn't become commissioner because Commissioner Gordon. He doesn't become commissioner at the end. He becomes captain. He's a captain by the end of it, and basically he's like, "This city sucks. I hate everybody I work with, basically, but I know I have an ally. Fucking Batman. And now we have a signal for him, and I just called him because we have reports of someone using chemicals to poison the Gotham Reservoir, and he calls himself the Joker."
Cliffhanger.
And that is Batman Year One.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
I think that was an amazing story.
It is a very good story.
I think it's very interesting that I don't think I realized how similar of a path that Gordon and Batman had taken in the beginning, of them both arriving into town at the same time and basically like same different goals and whatnot. So I think it's really cool to see them like come together, you know?
Yeah. What do you think?
As we went through it, I definitely remembered more and more of the story as we were going over it, and I just forgot how good this book was.
Yeah. It's not a very long book either. Mm-hmm. It's only 4 chapters. I think it's 4 chapters. 4 or 5 chapters. Mm-hmm. And it's
4.
Yeah. It's just a condensed. Actually, I shouldn't say condensed because it's longer than what was originally the origin of Batman. It expands on things, but it's very condensed comparatively to like other stories. It tells it gets in, it gets out, it tells you what you need to know, and I think it really does the characters really good justice because Frank Miller, he's kind of a controversial guy. Frank Miller, he's kind of a weird dude. He's made some amazing stories and some not so amazing stories, and he has very odd ideals and principles. He's kind of...
I don't think I knew
Was
about
Frank
that.
Miller All-Star Batman?
Yes, he is.
I thought so. Yeah.
But...
Look it up.
Yeah. Frank Miller's he's an interesting dude. I kind of I respect him a little bit. Even in his worst, it's like I can see what you were trying.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is where I would start if I wanted to get into comics, specifically DC Comics, because it's basically it even makes reference to a flying man in Metropolis, Superman.
Okay.
So yeah, it's an interesting little story. Check it out. It's great.
Approved.
All right. Thank you. See you next week.